All right, graphing quadratic equations. The first thing that you want to make sure to do is you want to go get your graphing calculator. If you don't have a graphing calculator on hand, make sure you've downloaded the one that I sent you, the TI-84 Plus. You can do this all by hand if you want to. I'm going to show you both ways to do it, how you can do it by hand, and then also how you can do it on the graphing calculator. So the steps that it says right here, that's doing it by hand. So first find the axis of symmetry. Well, that's like what we did on the last note sheet. Okay, so remember the axis of symmetry formula is x equals negative b divided by 2a. Okay, so on this particular one, we don't have a b. So that would be negative 0 divided by 2 times a, which is 1. There's no such thing as negative 0, such as 0 divided by 2 times 1 is 2. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So our axis of symmetry on this is going to be x equals 0. Okay, so then to find the vertex, you want to take that x there and plug it back in to find out what our y is going to be. Well, 0 squared is still just 0. So our vertex here is going to be 0, 0. Okay, so to fill in our table here, if we just start with negative 2 and you plug that in for the x value, so negative 2 squared is going to be a positive 4. Then we can do negative 1. Negative 1 squared is going to be a positive 1. Okay, we know we have our vertex is 0, 0 here, so 0 squared is 0. Then we do positive 1, 1 squared is 1. And then we do positive 2, 2 squared is 4. Okay, so if you just go through these numbers right here and fill in the table. Then from there, you want to graph it. So we have negative 2, 4. Negative 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. Okay, so now we have our parabola here. Okay, so the domain on a quadratic graph is always going to be all real numbers, because notice we have arrows that are going in opposite directions, okay, because this is going to keep going out to the left infinitely. It's going to hit all the negative values, and this is going to keep going out to the right infinitely. It's going to hit all positive values. So it's going to hit all real numbers. Our range, okay, range is talking about the y values. Well, our lowest y value right here is 0, and it hits all y values that are greater than or equal to 0. So y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so that's how you can fill it in by hand. If you want to do it on the graphing calculator, all you have to do is type this in on your y equals and then go to your table. Okay, and we're going to fill in on our table. Let's see, I'm actually going to type that in real quick. So we have x squared plus 2x minus 1, and then go to your table. Okay, and we want to fill in the values that are going to be on our calculator. Let's see. Press plus for there we go. Okay, so if we're doing negative 2 here, so we have negative 2, which is negative 1. And then we have negative 1, negative 2. We have 0, negative 1. We have 1, 2, 2, 7. Okay, now you don't always have to fill it in like that, but if you're doing it by hand, I wanted to show you that you're going to get the same numbers by hand as you would if you did it on the table. Okay, so then you want to graph those. So we have negative 2, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, 0, negative 1, 1, 2, 2, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and these are always reverse images of each other, so it's like a reflection over here. So this, we're also going to have negative 3, 2, and negative 4, 7 as well. So it's gonna look something like this. And you can see that on your table too if you did that on your calculator. Okay, our vertex here is gonna be this point, which is going to be a minimum, and this is gonna be at -1, -2. Our axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex. You say x equals -1. Our domain will always be all real numbers. In our range, since it's opening upward, it's going to be a greater than or equal to, and it starts here at -2. So y is greater than or equal to -2. Okay, do the same thing on number 3. So if you want to do it by hand, you can, like we did up here. If not, you can type this in on your y equals. So we have negative x squared minus 8x minus 17. And then go to your table. Okay, on this one, if we do -2 and through these right here, once we get to -1, it goes up to -10, and those aren't going to be able, you're not going to be able to graph those. So we actually want to go up further on our table, and we're going to do -6, -5, -5, -2, -4, -1, -3, -2, and -2, -5. Okay, so you just want to be able to make sure that you fill in your table with points so you can actually graph on here. So we have -6, -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. -4, -1. -3, -2. And -2, -5. So it's going to look like this. Okay, our vertex right here, which is going to be a maximum on this one, is at -4, -1. Our axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex. You say x equals -4. Our domain is always all real numbers. Our range is open downward, so it's going to be y is less than or equal to this time. And it starts here at the y value of -1. Okay, so notice that the axis of symmetry is always the x value of the vertex. The range, if it's open downward, it's going to be less than or equal to. If it's open upward, it's going to be a greater than or equal to. And the number here is always the y value of your vertex. And domain is always all real numbers. Okay, let's flip over to the other side. So we have, you want to type this in on your calculator on your y equals. You can fill in your table. So we have -1, -5, 0, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, and 3, -5. And then you want to graph those. So -1, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, and 3, -5. Okay, our vertex right here is going to be a maximum on this one, and it is going to be 1, 3. Our axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex, so x equals 1. Our domain is all real numbers. Our range is open downward, so it's going to be y is less than or equal to, and it's the y value of the vertex, which is 3. Okay, number 5, same thing. Okay, so fill in your table. We have 1, 6, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, 3, and 5, 6. And then graph your points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, 3, and 5, 6. okay? Our vertex on this one's gonna be a minimum and the point is at 3, 2. Our axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex, so x equals 3. Our domain is all real numbers. Our range is open upwards, so it's going to be y is greater than or equal to, and it's the y value of the vertex, which is 2. Okay? All right, all the rest of them, the same thing. You're just filling in your table and then graphing, and then you find your vertex, find your axis of symmetry, domain, and range from there. You can do it by hand to find these two things and then working your way to find your table and graphing, or you can do it on the graphing calculator. Either way will work. Okay, and this is graphing quadratic equations.